Now, now, ladies and gentlemen, Edilo, the best man. Give it up for him.
Just talk right into the mic. All right. All right, everyone. I wanted to go ahead and get this thing kicked off with bringing together our hands for both the Solons and the Heiseys for putting together such a beautiful evening for us all. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Edilo Moranti, and I am so honored to be up here today as Brian's best man. I wanted to start off by telling you all the story of how Brian and I met, but I wanted to give you guys some context to our relationship of growing up over the years. You see, the two of us, we competed over everything. It didn't matter if it was lacrosse, if it was soccer, if it was pickup basketball, ping pong. It didn't matter. The two of us were competing. You see, and Brian, as he still does to this day, would let me know that he could take me. It makes the circumstance of how we met a little bit ironic, though, because the two of us met on the Peters Township 8 and under All-Star Baseball B team. Hold on. We didn't let that shake our confidence, though. We still competed, even though the next year, the two of us were demoted to the C team together. Brian, 8 and under baseball. We've been best friends for over 2 decades. Kind of crazy to think about. That doesn't make you feel a little old. I don't know what else will. I got to thinking about, what makes two people stay such good friends over the course of their whole life. And I kept coming back to the fact that our heads were always in the same place. You see, we're very similar people. We're extremely loyal to our friends and family. We're not super emotional. We don't really wear our hearts on our sleeves. And furthermore, we, growing up, you wouldn't know it now, but growing up, our heads were always in the same place because we were the short guys. Unfortunately, I'm still the short guy, but, it's all good. It's funny, though, because, growing up, I had about a ½ inch on Brian, and you damn well better believe I let him know I had that ½ inch, and Mr. Heisey used to always let me know, oh, yeah, Brian's going to grow, when he gets older, he's going to be around college or something, and got me thinking about the first time that I realized, our heads aren't in the same place, and it was high school graduation, We just got done with the ceremony. We're getting ready to take a picture. My arm's around him, his arm's around me. And Brian starts to put his chin clear over my head and starts to look down on me. And I know exactly what's going on, I'm sitting here thinking, I had this coming. I know I had this coming for all these years, so I couldn't do anything other than just smile. That's one of my favorite pictures of the two of us of all time. Now, you see, after high school, we both went off to college, and, maybe like a year later, I went to Duquesne to visit him, and I learned for the first time there's 2 types of really, really good friends. There's those really good friends who, go out of their way to make you know how much they missed you and are happy to see you. Then there's those friends who do the same thing, but they go and they take it a step further. And you see, what Brian did that day was, he had to let everybody in the room know how excited he was to see me. Almost like he's bragging about me. I mean, he was, honestly. And he paraded me around Duquesne that whole weekend and introduced me to every single person. This is Edilo Moranti, my best friend. And, no matter how much he got heckled by all of his friends and fraternity brothers at Duquesne, he continued to do it the whole weekend. Now, the second time I came up to Duquesne, Brian was talking about a girl, and for the first time ever growing up, like, literally, I'd never heard him talk about a girl before, So this was jarring, to say the least, a little bit. And, as you can all imagine, and know, it was Kristen. And, so he was talking about how he was studying for his accounting exams with her. And I was like, Brian's studying for an accounting exam. I didn't know this guy to ever care about school ever, And other than like the times growing up and he still continues to do let me know that he beat me on the SATs. But, it is what it is. Anyways, nonetheless, I noticed like his room wasn't a complete pigsty anymore, and it was still a mess, but it wasn't a complete pigsty. And you guys might be up wondering, why is Edilo up here talking about the cleanliness of Brian's room or studying for accounting exams? And, the reason I'm up here talking about that is because around the time that Brian, Kristen came into Brian's life, we started to see him mature a lot, and everything was in a positive manner. I touched base with the whole bridal party, all the guys here, and we all asked, what was like one of the most significant things about Kristen coming into Brian's life? And Kristen, it was a resounding answer. You were the catalyst for positive change and him turning into the man that he is today. So I wanted to thank you for doing such a great job with this one. All right, so, around this time, usually people get up here and try to give some advice about marriage, and it's a little bit difficult for me to do so because I'm not there, So, yeah, I'm single, guys. All right, so... But what I wanted to do is reflect on a few things that I saw growing up in the Heisey household. The first thing being for Mr. Heisey. Mr. Heisey, you taught me about patience, and you taught me about truly rooting for someone's success. You coached me through a lot of things over the years, whether it was wakeboarding, skiing, golfing, soccer, the list could go on. By the time you were done coaching me, there was never a time that I didn't know I could make it down that mountain, even if it was way faster than you wanted me to. I didn't know I knew I could get up on those skis, that wakeboard, and I knew I could drive the golf ball somewhere close to the freeway, or to the fairway, sorry. One or the other, I guess. Listen, I'm still working on that swing, okay? But hey, Brian and Kristen, what I want you guys to do, okay? And I know you even mentioned in your vows today, Kristen, about that patience that Brian has. Obviously, he took note over the years from his dad. But what I want you two to do is continue through your lives to have that patience with each other and root for each other's successes, because you'll build an enormous amount of confidence for each other. And that goes a long way in any relationship. Now, another thing that I noticed in the Heisey household, this one comes from Mrs. Heisey. So, Mrs. Heisey, you always kept that home so full of love, and you always put Brian and I first. You always did. I wanted to thank you for truly raising me as one of your own. It meant the world to me, and it still does to this day. You see, Brian and I never went a single weekend without having a perfectly curated, all of our meals, all of our snacks, everything to the T was planned by Mrs. Heisey. Thank you so much for all that. Yeah, and yes, Mrs. Heisey, you would always ask if it was as good as my mom's. Hey, you do a damn good job, all right? Now, what I wanted to say is, Brian and Kristen, love each other like Mrs. Heisey loved us growing up. And still does to this day. But love each other like she loved us all. And, put each other first. If you do that, you will have a truly, truly blessed marriage. All right, I'm ready to get out of here, guys. Let's raise a glass. Let's raise a glass. Brian and Kristen, congratulations. I love you both very, very much. I wish you all the best in the future. All right, I'm done. Let's go. Cheers. Thank you.